Hey, welcome in, Bronco Nation. Welcome to another edition of Bronco Nation Live. This is a special edition. It's also a Bronco Talk. We will cover all the various Bronco Boise State sports. But before that, we have one of my favorite players all time from the basketball team. When I was a kid, I loved watching him play on the court here in Boise. In this edition, we're going to have Boise State Hall of Famer, all-time great, and NBA veteran. He played for the New York Knicks, the Nets, the Toronto Raptors. He's a three-time All-Conference player in college. He also was the MVP of the conference in '89. He led Boise State back to the NCAA tournament after a 12-year drought and brought Boise State. He led Boise State and brought him back to the scene from the 80s. We have the honor of having Chris Childs on the show today. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing good, but you left out the best dresser that ever came through Boise. Best dresser by far. And that was only because of my ex-wife, Carla Childs. She used to dress me a lot. So, yeah, that part. Thank you guys for having me, man.
Yeah, how are you doing? How's the family? How's everything going? How's the community outreaches out where you're at?
Man, everything is good, man. It's a blessing. You know, in life, you know, you know how that show they have on TV with what's Ryan Clark when they say pivot? The pivot, you have to pivot in life when you go from the NBA or the NFL or Major League Baseball. And I pivot every day. And I pivot today meeting people from Boise at the golf course. Talked to a couple of guys pivoted in business, and life is great. Kids are in Arizona, grandkids. I have 8 now. Have an unbelievable ex-wife in Boise, Carla Childs, Ed Jacoby's daughter, who I was married to for a period of time, Jean, Boise State community. So, man, life is good. And now I get to sit on here and talk to you guys and speak truth of whatever you guys want to ask me. Doesn't matter. I don't hide behind nothing. What's that?
And that's exactly why I love you, man. Passionate, and you live it out, like it should be. But I am joined by my co-host, Sam Gillette of Sam Talk Sports. Go ahead, and if you have any questions for Chris or any comments, this is an interactive show. If you don't like the conversation, pivot and ask whatever you want, So
even if you don't like it, ask me what you want to ask me, and I will tell you the truth.
All right, so let's start out with college ball. And Chris, like I said, you're a Hall of Famer for Boise State. You're number 8 on the scoring list. You are number 3 on the assists, and number 1 on steals. Still at the school.
Am I still number 1?
Yeah. Yep.
That's incredible. I would have been number 1 in scoring if Bobby Dye would have just sat his ass down. I love you, Coach Dye.
But let's talk about that. Like, I remember as a kid and how electric it was, from 1985 through 1989 when you blessed the court there. What made it so electric back then? Because I've continued to go to the games, and nothing has compared to that, my friend.
Well, they have been, but we were new. Boise State, Boise College, football, all the great players that came that played at a junior college level, we became Division I. And when I got there, Um, I remember, uh, shout out to Eric Hayes, Kelvin, what's Kelvin? Kelvin Rollins, Jeff. See, I'm 58 now, so my memory, but all those guys before me, when I got there, man, I was 17 with a jerry curl, about 150 pounds. And I walked into the locker room and asked the seniors, which one of you guys are willing to come off the bench? Right. And they looked at me like, who is this scrawny kid? But the competitive energy and the community, we played so hard. The games were easy. Practice was so hard because you had so much talent. I mean, we were good. Like, I remember Eric, and I keep saying Eric Hayes' name because he was someone that I, throughout my career, always mention and will always mention that he inspired me because he was a senior and he was 6'4", 210 pounds, a god, body wise, from Oxnard, California, along with Kelvin Rollins. And he pushed me and he told me, say, man, you, you need to just take a breather and soak this in because when I'm gone, it's on you. And I told him that you're not gone yet. You're going to be my two guard because I'm taking the point guard position. I felt that in my bones, and every day I showed up. So when I got into it was the pavilion, the Taco Bell arena. They could name it 15 times. I don't care. It's the pavilion. That place lit up like I think it only held 18,000, somewhere around there. It felt like 80,000 because of the shouting back and forth and the acoustics that Boise State. And I remember playing against Wyoming with Finis Dembo, and I was so nervous because I've never played in an important game in the arena where ESPN showed up because Finis Dembo, excuse me, was on Sports Illustrated with the chaps on and the cowboy hat, rifles and everything. But we didn't beat them that day, but that made me want to work harder so that we can do something special at Boise State. And God blessed me to play with some incredible players, play for incredible coaches, and the most incredible fans that I haven't been to a game in almost 10 years. I have to get back because that's why it's not because of this show, but I wear this sweatshirt 3 times a week because I have to deal with these Florida fans down here because of the colors. You know, they're like, "Oh, you're a gay." No, this is a Bronco, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I represent it, and they gave me this about 5 years ago, and so I sport it with pride. I love my college. I love the fans. I love the community. I love you guys for allowing me to be on here and share some wisdom and knowledge that I've gathered through my journey in life.
Yeah, and you're always welcome on our show. That's for sure. But let's keep it in college. What do you think about the the era of college today? You got the players are getting paid. It's almost free agency. You got players coming off of NBA rosters and being able to come back to an Alabama team. What do you think about the whole what's going on with college basketball right nowadays?
It's very disappointing. I was all for college players getting a stipend, getting some kind of money because they help the brand. They build their brand. We make a lot of money for the. I'm sorry. Okay, I heard some. We make a lot of money for the colleges, but the colleges pay for our education, right? So with the NIL deals, And the person responsible for any college player getting any kind of money, and he doesn't get the credit, is Ed O'Bannon. Ed O'Bannon was my rookie when I made it to the NBA with the New Jersey Nets, played at UCLA, and he fought a case with the NCAA for years and years and years about college players getting paid. So you got all these video games, you got all these different things, and now all of a sudden they call it NIL deal. NIL deal is nothing but to protect the money that is going to get taxed, that the government is going to get, whatever it is. I've had these conversations with numerous people. They don't want to hear my take on it because my dad was in politics, so I understand the dynamics of what politics are and what this thing called NIL is. It's taken away from the purity of the game. You cannot make a college player professional while he's in college. You can't. I don't believe it. I won't stand by it. I'm all for you getting money. If you do it, put it in the grant, put it in the stipend, put it in the trust that you tap in, that you leave it for your kids. But if you're able to get money at college, right? So say you get like the kid at Texas, what's the quarterback name's making all the money? Manning.
Yeah.
Right? He's the highest paid player in NCAA. Do you really think he's going to work as hard as he can to be better? Maybe, maybe not. But why would he? Because his status already made. He has a name. So if, say you take a guy that doesn't get an NIL deal, but he's as equal or better than that player, the NFL is not going to take him, because that kid that is making $5 million in college is going to bring fans to the stadium. So you're going to draft him. It takes away the balance of sports in college. Guys are going, it's basically like super teams. You know, you get 3 best players from different schools. So if say Texas plays Norfolk State or North Texas State, and one wide receiver is more dominant than everybody, he just showcased himself, and Texas is going to go get him and offer that kid a lot of money. So I don't know if kids understand. I come from an area of, I want to beat the best. I don't want to play with the best. I could have went to the Lakers with Kobe, rest in peace, but I wanted to go to the Knicks so that if we met them in the finals, I want to beat them. It's all about money grabbing. It's all about notoriety. It's all about being on ESPN. And I think we're, in the next 10 years, we are going to be in trouble with college sports.
Do you
I was
think
just
that
talking
maybe?
to oh, sorry,
ahead.
go ahead. Okay. I was
No,
just
go ahead.
talking to who was it? I can't remember now. It was today. I was just talking to him that the only reason that there has not been any regulations in college sports right now is because the power conferences and the power teams in those conferences haven't been hurt by it yet. If you get one of these mid-major schools that spends the Texas A&M kind of money on their team and they steal a national championship away from them, the next day there will be regulations to prevent that from happening again.
Yeah, but how can, everything is protected by the NCAAs?
Well,
NCAA.
anytime the NCAA does anything, they get sued.
Right. So it's like, I don't care what billionaires or what alumni you have. We're talking about people that has generational wealth, that invest in collegiate sports, invest in university. And I get it. You need that to make it work. But when you put that kind of money forth to kids who are 17 and 18, how do you fathom a kid driving on college campus in a Ferrari?
Yeah.
I rode a skateboard with my friend Sean, my my best friend, rest in peace, that passed. I rode a skateboard and I was a black guy in Boise on a skateboard with highlights. And like, I just need to get to class because I just want to go to school and learn and get an education. Now it's how can I monetize myself? How can I take my helmet off or my brand? You know, you're in college, your brand is the university. Put it in the trust and put that money there. So when that person um, gets to 25, say they get to 25, now, okay, now you can touch that money, but portion of that money goes back to the university. Okay, we pay for your education, goes back, say maybe 10%, say 10%, say 8%, whatever it is, portion that goes back. I'm okay with that. But when you pay somebody $5 million a year to play college athletics, I have a problem with that.
I was going to say, do you think that this, with the money being thrown around and, occupying the student athletes' minds, do you think that takes away from, the quality of the product that we're going to see on the court and the continuity from year to year? Because I've already seen it. Like, it basically, college sports now is like, no longer do you think you can forecast it 4 years out. It's a year by year case because it's like free agency. Like, where are they going to get their next bag? I honestly like what you're saying, but it's too logical for them. It seems like,
Yeah, but every individual is different, and it comes from your upbringing, right? So you look at a kid that comes from the inner city that's never had anything, whatever, he's going to take whatever bag he can get to help out his family. I understand that. But the same rules apply to everybody. I don't care where you come from, how much money you have. Just put it in a trust. Because what happens, $5 million is not $5 million. $3 million is not $3 million. It's either 1.5, 1.3, depending on the tax bracket, where you're from. So that money runs out because you want to take care of everybody, right? So you've sold your soul for $1.3 million. After Uncle Sam takes his money, you might have 700,000. And so then you buy your mom a car, you buy her a house, whatever. Now you're down to 200,000. So that kid is pressing to showcase who he is and why he deserves that money. So you put too much pressure on these kids. If you put it in a trust, they don't touch it, they stay hungry. And that 3 million will become 24 million or 30 million because your stock rise in the draft because you're still hungry. When kids are making that money, they lose their hunger of going out there and compete. And nobody wants to hear that. I'm going to get so much backlash from this, but I don't care. Anybody can reach me at any given time. I'm at goldencharles.com, Gmail. You can touch me, get a hold of me, Instagram, and I will talk to everybody. But what they're doing to these young men is putting undue pressure on them to compete and be successful. And it needs to stop. And the NCAA is allowing these kids or putting pressure on these kids because all they care about is their bank accounts. They don't really care about the kids. They never did, ever. So I try to walk a thin line when it comes to this because I would love to talk to kids and do a seminar and let them know. And they don't educate them. They don't so they give them this money, but they don't tell them how to save the money or put it in a trust for your kids or future kids. Because you're a man, eventually you're gonna have kids, right? You're gonna have a life where your career is done, put it in a trust. But they don't educate them. Look, we'll give you this money. We'll give you $5 million or $3 million, but you made us $100 million off of your jersey sales.
Josh Fife brings up a good question. He says, do you think any universities set these kids up, with those financial advisors that you're talking about to deal with that kind of money?
No, not in college. It doesn't become available until you get to professionals. I've never heard of any college kid that I've trained or mentored that said when I was at college and I got this money that anybody sat down with me about financial literacy. Never. doesn't exist. All they want you is
And
get
then,
out the way, shut up, take your money, and don't come back and cause a problem.
and all this talk about money, it reminds me of another Boise State Hall of Famer, Carl Keever. He was a three-time All-American. He's actually a money financer, and he agrees with you. And he also stated earlier here, he says to tell Chris he could have played football also because we played together in a flag football team together, and he was the best athlete on the team. Do you remember that?
Yep, I love Carl. Carl is a great human being, great man. And yeah, I played DB and wide receiver. And I remember we were in the game. I had 6 interceptions because I played football. But I remember coming to Boise State, and Lyle Stettensich was the coach, and Hazen Shote was the quarterback. And I went out there and ran a 40, ran a 4.3, threw the football, and he was like, "Hey, you need to come out for football." I said, "Can I get a dual scholarship? Basketball and football?" He said, "No." I said, "Well, I won't be playing football." But I love Carl Keever. He's a man. We follow each other. We talk on social media. So yeah, that's my friend. Love him.
We got one
Yep.
legend on the screen and one legend in the comment section.
Yeah. That's how we like it.
Hey,
Right?
ain't it nice being a Bronco, man?
Yep.
It is. Nobody's got it better than us.
And we got 2 legends playing in the Super Bowl.
We do. But you know what, man? I watched Genty this year, man. I'm a Raider fan. Been a Raider fan for 53 years. Man, I feel sorry for that kid, man.
Yeah.
He's
To get
such a
snubbed
talent.
to get snubbed for the Heisman and snubbed for Rookie of the Year,
Oh
putting
man,
up
he's
those
such
numbers behind that line.
bro. Are you serious?
Yeah.
I saw something that Barry Sanders said on me and Michael Strahan. We talked, and he said it is unjust when you have people that never played the game that doesn't understand how hard it is to be a running back in the NFL. And that kid, his 2 yards were like 20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they were beating his behind. But I so much respect that guy because he got up, threw the ball to the umpire, the ref, went back to the huddle, tapped his offensive lineman and say, "I'm gonna get you 3 the next time." That kid is special, man. He's special.
And here's a crazy stat. So out of the 1,310 all-purpose yards that Ashton had in his rookie season, only 310 of those yards he was untouched. So after he was touched, he gained over 1,000 yards of initial touch. So that means that he was initially touched behind the line of scrimmage almost every single time he got the ball. Crazy.
He is a special talent. He reminded me of Zeke Elliott. I remember watching Zeke, and I watched he never fell backwards. He always fell forward. Even if he got to the line of scrimmage, he always fell forward, and that comes from strength and balance. You know what I mean? I'm a Raider fan. I've watched every game.
Yeah.
And that kid is special. And I hope he listens and he pays attention. Be patient, young man. Continue to work. Go to Frisco, get with Jerry Rice, run those hills, and you will get, I'm telling you, he's gonna get 1,500 yards rushing next year, because if they don't spend money on the offensive line, I'm giving away my tickets. I'm selling them at the Dollar General with a bag of Dollar Cheetos. You can have my tickets if they don't get an offensive line for that kid.
Yeah, they got to do something. Speaking of the pros, so you led Boise State to NCAA tournament in '88. Then you got the Player of the Year in '89, and then like a true Bronco, you went to work, man. You didn't just go into the NBA. there was a little bit of time where you actually had to work, and that's what that's what blue collar is all about, and that's what you did. And so you went to the pros. We also have another all-time great Bronco who's kind of doing the same thing with Tyson Degenhart. Last season he got to the top of the scoring list, and now he's in the Toronto Raptor G League, and he's doing the same thing. Do you think that he could carve a path for himself just like you did and make it onto an NBA roster?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to remember, how old is he now? 22, 23?
Yeah, he's got to be 23, I believe, because he only went 4 years. He didn't do any 5 or any of the other. He didn't.
Right.
Do any of that.
I would love to meet him and sit down and talk with him, so that he understands the G League is different than the CBA when I played. You are required to be under a certain umbrella of the teams, whatever. But I think that watching him play talent-wise, he needs to perfect certain things that he's good at. You don't have to be great. They pay people $30-40 million to score, right? You have to be a part of a puzzle. Some pieces are bigger than the others. Just be a part of the puzzle. But I would love to meet him. I'm going to follow him and find out, because I know the Toronto Raptors system. I know the owners. I know everybody. My advice to him is to, after the season, whatever, get to a summer league and get with a coach that's going to best benefit your skill set, what everybody else is looking for, because they have spots, right? So if you can make the top 8, because that's my only goal, is making the top 8. If I get to top 8, I'm a destroy number 6, because I'm a outwork him. See, they can't control that. They can control you. People can jump higher, you shoot better, they're faster, but they can't control your work ethic. So if I can make the top 8, number 6, that's easy money. You know what I'm saying? So if I can give him a message, it's just that understand what your value is, who you are as a person, understand who you are as a player, because I didn't like when I was at Boise State, talent-wise, I knew that I was talented, but I didn't understand how to demand respect from other players or men. So I had to go to the CBA, in 5 years I was there. It wasn't until the 5th year that I went to John Lucas, and he made me stay in a rehab facility with criminals. He said, man, if you keep going down this path, you'll never get to the NBA. So I was in there with court-ordered people. And then when I came out of there, I went to Houston. Before I got on, I was talking to Vernon Maxwell. And I said, Vernon, remember when I came to Houston and I smashed Kenny Smith? He said, yeah. He said, yeah, I saw that you were so hungry and you was ready that I said I couldn't wait to play against you. And so you have to put yourself around players that are better than you so they can see where you are. So if he wants to get to that next level, he has to surround himself with not people that are going to praise him, but people are going to point out his weakness. And shoot, he can come down here to Florida and stay with me for about a month. But after we train, we're going to do some fishing.
No doubt, man. No doubt.
Yeah. We're going to get some redfish.
Now, do you think that could translate to both to our current Broncos that are on the team right now, that healthy competition of the pecking order, or and striving to be the best, and not having the yes men around them all the time, and continually push each one of them pushing each other to be the best they can? Is that how that works?
Well, I think a lot of time with success, when you come into an environment of Boise State is a community that will allow you and they will praise you even before you play the game. Like if you walk around and if a basketball player comes to a tailgate doing football and they
Mhm.
know your name,
Uh-huh.
oh, now your chest is puffed out. I'm somebody. You're not nobody. You haven't done anything,
Nice.
right? So
Mhm.
humble yourself and hey, thank you so much. I appreciate the acknowledgement or whatever. But look at what's going on. Be a part of the community, what's going on. When I got to Boise State, and I don't want to keep referring back to when I was there, because that sounds like a bitter old dude, but uh tailgating for basketball players were an opportunity for us to interact with fans, right? Football, whatever. Hey, how you doing? Da, 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 da. And go to different bars. Hey, how you doing? But when it came time to getting on the court with the NIL deal, people feel that they're special. You are not special until you get out there and perform. And I never wanted to disappoint the fans. I didn't want them to ever say Chris Childs put forth a lackluster effort because then I'm disappointing my father and my mother. I'm disappointing the community. I truly love Boise State community and these players today and the current team at Boise State. I think that's what they fall on. Of and I have to say it, girls, um, the community. I mean, come on, man. Listen, I'm I'm just speaking the truth. We are men. We are hot-blooded men. When a woman tells you you're cute and you can look like a freaking honey badger, right? And he's feeling himself, he's not going to put forth the work that's needed for us to be great. And we've had many opportunities at Boise State in the last 7, 8 years to do something special. We've fallen short. Nothing against the coaching staff; they've done their job, but the players haven't taken that shield of when I go on the court, I'm representing this university, these fans, and then myself and my family, and then my teammates. And I've only watched 3 games this year. Not because I don't follow the team. I've been, doing other stuff and trying to brand myself
Plus,
and do different.
plus, you're on the East Coast, and a lot of these tip-offs are like 11 o'clock your time, 12 o'clock. So by the time they're done, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning for you.
Yeah, man, I wanted to watch a game against, I think it was Nevada, somebody.
Mhm.
It
And I
wasn't a good
could,
game.
yeah, well, I couldn't stay up, bro. I was like, you know what? Record and then I'll watch it later. But I, I, I like to watch it live just to listen to the commentary
Mhm.
because it seems like a lot of times these other schools are pissed off at Boise State because of past butt kickings.
Yeah.
I have to be frank. So, but yeah, the team now and teams before, these kids need to understand, and maybe, and I should, I have to do more because I need to tap back in with the university and come in and just speak to these kids because uh, everybody's not going to listen to what I have to say. Oh, he's old. But that's cool. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But you will pay attention. You will listen because I don't care who you are, what you are. I'm going to make sure you represent this university, these teachers, these schools, these professors, this community the right way. Because until then, we won't get back to being the Boise State Bronco team that we are capable of being because we've had some good, we had some great players the last 20 years.
Mhm.
I'm not, I'm talking about great. I've watched these kids. I'm like, wow. Yeah, it's been special to watch. So it's just a different era.
You
Money
you have
changes
any
everything.
you have any aspirations to get into coaching or motivational speaking and whip them into shape?
Well, I would love to do consulting work with the university. I would love to move back to Boise. Love to.
Love
Love to. It is an incredible city. It changed me as a man, because at that time, my dad, who was a city councilman, he went to prison. My brother was in prison. The men in my life were in prison. And so I remember my dad telling me, and my dad was a city councilman, and I don't mind telling this story. He's no longer here, rest in peace. But my dad knows me as my best friend. My dad was a city councilman, and he used to do taxes for the illegal aliens that came into California that grew up in our community in Bakersfield. And so my dad would do their taxes and say, hey, just give me $20. And as a city councilman, just because he didn't file that 20 on his taxes, they put my father in prison for 3 years. And my dad told me, I remember that day, he said, hey, don't you worry about me. You go there and represent the child's name, and you represent that university like the man that you are. And I came there with Bobby Dye and Rich Ryder, Rod Jensen, George Barrios. Oh man, oh, they go kill me. Oh, the equipment managers. Oh, they go kill me because I can't get no more. Greg. Saeed. Hey, you guys know who you are. Know how much I love you guys. But I was there solo, and I never called my mom for $1. Nothing. And I'll tell this other story. And no, you know what? I won't tell this. No, I will. So, no, I will. No. This is different. And people are gonna people that know me understand. So, in order for me to have money, I used to give parties at a house that I lived in. So I would go to Albertsons and get 2 pony kegs. I can't believe I'm telling this story. I'm too honest. I used to get 2 pony kegs. And hey, young people at that school, if you do this and I find out, I'm coming down there. So whoever the president at Boise State, if it happens, call me and I'll rectify it. But I would buy 2 pony kegs at Albertsons and throw a party at my house and charge $5. So once the house got full, I would call the fire department and they would come shut it down.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I had 2 kegs. And so that was on a Friday. Then Saturday, I would do it all over again. But I made amends with my Lord and Savior, made amends with a lot of my friends, and Brian King knows. Who was my Arnell knows, Wilson Foster knows. So yeah, man, it was I'm just too honest, man. I'm sorry.
I need to get both you and Carl in the same room and telling these stories, man, because he's got some pretty good ones too, man.
Hey, Carl got some stories. I was with Carl with a couple of wrestlers. Oh my God. I love Carl. I love Carl.
Josh says Arnell Jones and Childs rolling into Albertsons for kegs, then tear it up on the court the next day. Love it.
Yep. True story. I didn't drink at all in high school. I got to Boise State, and I remember the first beer I ever had was a Keystone Light. And they don't even sell those anymore, especially down here in Florida. But yeah, me, Arnell, my one of my best friends, Greg Dodd. And I'll be remiss, man. I will be someone that is just speak and say stuff, but I have to shout out someone that is very special to me, will always be special to me, means a lot to me. Every time I hear his name, I get emotional. I'm getting emotional now. If we would have had Jeff Foster on our team before his passing, we would have went a long way in the NCAA tournament. That kid was so special, so talented, so hungry, so humble. And so I haven't talked to his family in over 30 years. And if they're listening, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I miss that young man so much because he made me work my tail off watching him work the way he did. He was a special, special young man. So shout out to the Foster family.
And speaking of, just that camaraderie and that, it's that blue collar spirit that you're talking about. You have it. You still have it. Jeff had it. And hopefully everybody who comes through those doors has it. What could you tell the men's basketball team right now? Right now they're on a 4-game win streak. How can they tap into something like that that's greater than themselves and help them propel? Because we're still trying to chase that one win in the tournament. And I know how special that would have been and how much that still means, to you, because we're talking about that 30 years later, what if? Because you guys, you had a special team and we're still chasing that. So what would you tell the men's basketball team today? What to do to get to that point?
The 4-win streak doesn't mean anything. It's just a number of wins after the third. It means something, but it doesn't. Every day in practice, every day when you're walking around on campus, every day you're interacting with people, you have to stay locked to what the biggest goal is. And that's to be the first team to ever win a game in NCAA tournament. But if you're looking at that far ahead, you're missing the point. Just get better every day. Get better every day. Trust your teammate. Socialize with your teammates. Go to dinner. Do things. When I was a point guard at Boise State, Jeff Kelly was a center. Greg Dodd was a center. Jeff Foster. I used to go to their dorms. Hey man, let's go for a walk and talk. Because I didn't want them to think that I was better or bigger than them. I was roommate with Arnell. I was roommate with Wilson Foster. Me and Doug Usatello used to hang out, and do things. Brian King. So we spent a lot of time with each other. So when we got on the court, we knew the other person's personality. We knew their families. Get to know their families. Because the one thing that when the ball goes up in the air, if you look at that guy to your right and the left and you can't look in the eye or depend on him to do his job, you won't win. But the only way you get that communication, that camaraderie, is to spend time. So I know it's short. March Madness is coming. It's right around the corner. But you still have time. The basketball would take care of itself. The coaches know what they're doing. The coaches only coach during timeouts. That's the only time a coach and practice. During the game, you're going to run a out of bounds, half court, in the quarters. If you got a team that you trust, your coach is not going to say nothing to you because you've already put in the work with your teammates. You've already played the game. So the time you spend together, don't wait for the coach to tell you, let's practice. Hey, let's meet and let's run over what we want to run over. Let's get to know each other and run plays. You don't need a coach to do that. We didn't do that. I tell him, man, come here, man, let me show you this. And he would tell me, man, shut up, man, I don't want to hear you today. Okay, well, I'm going to say the same thing tomorrow. And the next day. And the next day. Because it wasn't because I was scared of him or he was telling me that. It was because if he's not ready that day, I will get you ready the next day. And if you respect your teammate, then you'll understand that it's all about winning. because nobody, I don't care who you are, nobody's going to remember who took second or third. They don't. Real sports fans will, but those that are talking on ESPN, all these different things, they don't remember that. They don't. So these my fellow Bronco brothers and sisters, get to know your teammate. Don't wait for your coach to coach you or to tell you what the game plan is. Get with your teammates and figure it out on your own. Because during the game, your coach cannot save you. He can't. He don't play. He will get you in position. He will give you the recipe, but it's up to you to cook the food. So get together with your teammates and figure it out. Because if you don't do that, we ain't gonna never win one. And this team have the capability, but they're falling short just a little bit because there's no camaraderie when it comes down to the fourth quarter, last 2 minutes, last 4 minutes. You don't know if that person's willing to fight with you, if he's willing to get in that foxhole and come out and protect what's there. We had that. We fell short, but that's okay. But we don't have to keep falling short. They have what it takes, but they need to be more cohesive in order for that to happen.
Nothing more wiser has been said, Chris. So let's pivot to your time in the NBA, okay?
Let's get it.
So you put in the work, in the pros. You got your opportunity with the Nets. But besides those two first years with the Nets where you averaged like 12.8 per game. Besides those two, you went to the playoffs every year in the NBA. Most notable was when you went to the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden from 96 to 2001 with probably the most tenacious, ferocious team that's ever been assembled that I can remember. Filled with Hall of Famers and just people who had the mentality that you're talking about, fight for your brothers, right?
Yeah.
Tell us out of all of your years in the NBA, where were your best years spent and why was it with the Knicks?
Well, let me start out by saying I'm not going to overshadow 12.9 points with the Nets coming from the CBA. That was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Because I took 2 point guards position and I told them I was going to take them. That was David West and Kenny Anderson. Kenny Anderson, we called Chubbs, who's also a good friend of mine. I told him, if you're not ready to practice, don't come. If you're hanging out, don't come to practice because I have to prove myself every day on the court. So at that time, I was squatting maybe 560. I was bench pressing 345. I was a bad, yeah. I remember Rod Jensen said, when I came back, he said, man, I can hear your power through your dribble. And so when I left the Nets, who I didn't want to leave, because I love that team, but they brought in John Calipari, and he said, we're going, and I had my first contract with the Nets was a partial. So in 89, 90, 92, I got $75,000 from Willis Reed, partial. Second year, I got $150,000. Had to prove myself. So when I came to start it and John Calipari came in, he said to me and looked me in my eyes and said, we're going to give you $550,000. I said, no disrespect, but you can take that $550,000 and stick it. I've never been disrespected like that. And he said, well, we're going to go with Robert Pack. Robert Pack, my friend, Pac-Man, good player, Denver, dunk, whatever. So then it came down to the Lakers and the Knicks. And I've always wanted to play home, but they only want to give me 5 years. The Knicks gave me 6. And so I said, hey, that's a short drive through the Lincoln Tunnel, going into the city. And then I get there at a press conference, and there's Larry Johnson and Allen Houston. And I'm sitting there, and I'm little Chris Childs from Bakersfield, California, went to Boise State, 5 years in the CBA, and I'm the point guard they're bringing in to take over for somebody that taught me the game, the NBA game, which is Derek Harper, ex-Dallas Maverick. And I'm like, because I used the move that he taught me to steal the ball at the end of the season, the move he taught me, and I stole it, laid up, won the game. So that's my mentor, Derek Harper. You know, brother, I love you so much. And I get to the next, we're in a press conference. I don't get one question. Larry Allen. And then at the end, they asked me, Chris Shaw, you have anything to say? I said, no, my game speaks for itself. And I walked off. And from that point on, I knew I still had to prove myself. And I fought, I battled every day I played for 10 years. I played through hamstrings. If you're hurt, you can play. If you're injured, you can't. You can ask any trainer I've ever had. I hate sitting out. I played with a hairline fracture. I played with shin splints. I never wanted my teammates to not know that their point guard wouldn't do whatever it took to win. And so I remember one game against the Bulls, and I was guarding Michael Jordan. And Jeff was yelling, double, double. And I said, Patrick, if you double, I'm going to beat your ass in the locker room after the game. Do not double. If Michael gets 50, let him get 50, but it'd be the hardest 50 he ever gets. I don't like double teams, ever. Because it takes away from the purity of the game that I understand. If Michael got 50 on me, I guarantee he took 35, 40 shots. You know, so that was a moment. That was a moment that I think any of my peers, anybody that's ever played with me, understood about me as a player. I was very unselfish. I gave up my starting position. I worked my tail off to be a starter in the NBA. I gave up my position for the betterment of the team, for us to get to the finals, and allowed Charlie Ward to start. There's days through my life, I'm 58, that I regret that. I regret it because I worked my tail off, but if I didn't, I don't think we would have made it to the finals in 99. Because I had Spreewell, I had Marcus Camby, and bro, and we just had our 90th anniversary in New York. All I had to do was get the ball, and those road runners, they were gone. And all I had to do was throw it up, and they were finishing, they were doing things. So it was those type of moments in the NBA that I cherish. Yeah, man, it's man, God is good, man. He works in ways that I never imagined. But now I have to pivot. In doing this podcast with you guys today, I'm going to make it my mission to come back to Boise. And I want to do this in person. I don't want to do it over the phone. I want to sit down together and let's build something for the community. I don't know what other basketball players are doing or whatever, and that's cool. Whoever's doing it, I don't have a problem being a wingman. But I want to give knowledge back to these kids before I leave this earth, because having been in that arena in a long time, or in that community, and I want to give back. I want to give the experiences that I've had through the time that I played in college, the NBA, the CBA, the NBA, and then what we're doing now, with this world we live in, to bring something even more special together. Man, we're Broncos for life.
Yeah. And
That
brother,
means something.
brother, we got it set up here, man. Anytime you get here, we got the support to make that happen, my friend.
Hey man, I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming the end of February. I'll let you guys know.
Okay.
I am after Valentine's Day. I'm coming, and I will let you guys know. And whatever we need to do, man. I want to do something where we have, I don't know what's downtown or whatever. We have a building where we get fans and interact, and
We've got we got access to the esports studio right there. Doc's already said we could utilize that. We can make
man.
this
Let's
happen.
go, man. Let's
All
go.
right.
Let's bring the community to something, man, and bring the players now, ex-players. Let's get back to what this community is all about, man.
Yep, that's what we're
And I
all
think,
about. I got Carl Kiever on board. We're gonna hook it up.
yeah,
Okay.
and we talked a little before the show about you don't see that fan interaction inside the community anymore. And I think there's been attendance issues for some of these games, especially whenever they were going through their 4-game skid to start conference play, and after the Hawaii Pacific loss, and then of course the football team. Yeah, you get people in there, but they leave at the third quarter. And then the fourth,
Right.
whenever, especially in close games of both football and basketball, yeah, it's a late start, but you don't need to lead before the end of the game because that allows teams to get back in because you suck
Right.
out all the energy. So maybe getting you up there, getting players involved, getting former players involved, big events in the communities, not these, oh, we're going to have a signing over here and a signing over there 2 or 3 times a year, but get big events together, get the fans, to get the community excited about Boise State again.
Bring
Man,
back that electricity.
we go get the politicians involved. We go get everybody involved like it used to be back in the day. And
Mhm.
we're not just going to talk about basketball. We're going to talk about life to help these young
Yeah.
men to understand. Like you were saying, how do you leave an arena before the game is over? Home field advantage means home field,
Mhm.
our field. We never did that. I've never seen that. The time, even when I was there, the Bronco football, they didn't leave in the third quarter or the start of. No, you stay there and you fight with your team. So we need to promote this. Start now. Pick a date. Chris Child's Day. Make it happen. I want all the city councilmen, everybody, fans. Let's go. And I want to cook because I love to cook. And I'm gonna bring my friend Charles Oakley with me. He's a
You
Okay.
know,
cook too. Yeah,
I
me
know
and
it's
Oak.
I know it's too late now because it's already passed, but 114 would probably be the perfect day every year, January 14th.
January 14th.
Yeah, be your,
So
that'd be
yeah,
your college number and your pro number.
yeah. Well, we can do that the following year.
Yeah.
But let's put something on the table to do something before the conference tournament.
Yep. You got the right outlet. Bronco Nation updates. We reach about 2.2 million viewers per month, so we'll promote the heck out of this, Chris.
Yeah, let's.
But we're talking about packing out stadiums, right?
Yeah,
And you guys on the Knicks packed out MSG for, I know you and Spree, Oak, LJ, and Pat. If Pat's Achilles would have been all right, I think that you guys would have won the championship. But let's you took on people like Tim Hardaway and Reggie Miller, Jordan, Kobe. Who gave you the biggest challenge in the NBA?
people, and we were just talking about this at the golf course with a couple of my friends. Of course, MJ was a handful, but he was easier to guard than Rod Strickland. Um, I think Rod Strickland, Stephon Marbury, and Terrell Brandon were three of the most underrated guards and Kevin Johnson in the history of the NBA. I'll break down each player real quick. Rod Strickland was 6'3", wide shoulders, New York legend, herky jerky, can bounce off you, finish with either hand. He was a handful. Terrell Brandon out of Oregon, 5'11", long arms, big hands, could never time him the right way. Stephon Marbury was Derrick Rose before Derrick Rose, powerful, big body, can jump. And Kevin Johnson was just lightning quick. With his in-between crossover was so fast that he was basically unstoppable when he dunked on the king. The thing that made Kobe and Michael hard to guard because they had spots on the court, but their footwork, the footwork was so immaculate, and their work ethic of being in the gym, understanding their craft. But I'll say this now. I didn't care who you were. I'm not going to, you can't stop an NBA offensive player. So people need to stop about the Kobe stopper. No, you pray they have an off night. Please, Lord, let him shoot 7 for 30, please. That's the first thing. Second thing, push him off his spot. Michael likes the ball 15, 17 feet in. If I can push him 19, 21, have the advantage. Kobe's the same way. Stephon, AI, got to give him space. So these guys, offensive players in the NBA, are too great to stop. You just have to make them work. You have to understand what the team concept is and funnel them to your big man that he has to shoot over a 7-footer, and just pray to your Lord and Savior he has an off night. You can't stop a great NBA player. Not happening.
We have a fan question from Josh. Says, the glove, what was playing him like?
Who, Gary Payton? The glove? What's crazy, let me say this. What's his name? Josh?
Josh, yep.
Yeah, my son is married to Gary Payton's daughter. Right? And I played against Gary high school, college, at Oregon State when him and Eric Knox came to Boise, and we beat them. And I bust Gary's, he knows. And then in NBA, but Gary was so tenacious. 6'4", 6'5", just a scowl on his face, but he was so skilled. Defensively, offense, could shoot left hand, right hand. Such a competitor. And that's why I love competing against him. And he's my in-law now. But yeah, he was a different breed. He's in the same breed as Vernon Maxwell, but more skilled.
So who do you think is better, or who is harder to cover, Jordan or Kobe Bryant?
They're the same, but Jordan was a little bit harder because the triangle offense always put him, if you watch any of the old film, the older Jordan, 8 to 10 feet, because you're in a triangle, you're coming to the post, and you have to front him at 8 to 10 feet. Kobe was more dynamic because he had a 3-point shot, and he had such a grasp of the game. Him and I got into it, altercation, whatever you call it, but I had so much respect for him, and even when we got into it, but when he tore his Achilles and he shot the free throw and walked off the court, that doesn't happen. He must have torn, because if you rupture your Achilles, you can't walk. But to tear your Achilles is so painful. For him to shoot his free throw, I have so much respect for him, and I don't like really talk about the altercation, because he still has his wife Vanessa and his daughter. I don't want that to be a topic they have to always wake up and listen to. I have so much respect for that young man and what he did for women's basketball. And I try to uphold myself and do that with the kids I mentor to today.
I got a couple more fan comments here. T Silly
Okay,
says
come on, fans. Come on, fans.
Boise State, Chris Childs jerseys, Legends line would be lit. Can't find your BSU jersey anywhere. So maybe a New Jersey line. You got Josh, Jesse, and I played many pickup games at Gold's a long time ago. Hope he's good. And
Okay.
and Josh also says Glove talked insane trash.
What did he say? What did he say the last one was?
Glove talked insane trash.
Oh, absolutely. So the jersey part, I'll make sure going forward, because I don't get involved in that merchandise, whatever. But recently I have, because finally I got on 2K and different things, and people are like, well, Chris, why don't you? I didn't play the game for that. I love the game. I played the game. I remember playing I was at Boise State playing pickup ball at the Towers on campus. I just love the game of basketball. I love teaching. I love watching it. Um, I have a passion for it. And I'm going to make it my priority to come back to Boise and do stuff in the community, because we have to get back to what made Boise State basketball what it was. And that's the community. That's the fans. That's going to burger joints and eating burgers with the fans, or meeting the kid that's walking with his mother or whatever. Let's get back to that. That's that street where the university is so much traffic. There's so many things, so many people. Somebody pumping their gas. Hey, how you doing? I'm such and such. How's your day going? Blah, blah, blah. What are you doing? Let me pump your gas, so let's go get a burger. We got to get back to that, because then the fans are back interested in what Boise State offer. If you're out downtown doing dumb stuff, you know what I mean, and trying to be this, trying to be that, and I'm not going to get into semantics of I know what they're doing, but look, this is community, man. This is a college community. They will come out and support you in droves, and they will stay there, and they will yell Boise State after the game is over. Remember when it was Boise State back and forth? That's because of the players that go out in the community. They interact with fans after a game. Why don't you tell every fan, stay there? Before you go in the locker room, each player take an aisle and go greet every fan in the stadium. You know how many fans will come back every game?
Yeah.
So when we have Chris Childs night, before the game, after the game, I'll stay and I'll walk and greet every fan in the stadium. Shake their hand, take a picture, whatever. We have to get back what made Boise State what it was. And that's fair participation. It won't work any other way.
And speaking
I
of
got
that,
chills, and it's not just I got chills just listening to you, and it's not just because I'm outside in 40-degree weather.
But staying on that with the fans interaction, you came, you played for 6 years in probably the most scrutinous media there is on earth in New York. So, and I'm sure the media always was saying something about the coach or the players and stuff. And how does that reflect on the players? I mean, I know they're pros at that point, but even in downtimes, even in the college game, negative begets negative, and you kind of see that trickle into the media wherever it is, if it's a local or even in a major media market like New York. how does that affect, the coaches, the fans, and the players when the media is continually scrutinizing the players? Or is it needed, or how do you think the best scenario would be for like a local media outlet?
Well, these days it's a different temperature of how people cover sports, right? You got likes, you got clicks, you got all this different stuff. Uh, the one thing that my father, rest in peace, always told me, the least you say, the least they can write, right? The least you say, the least they can write. But you have to understand they have a job to do as well. So back when I was playing, I remember Stephen A. Smith from ESPN when he used to cower in a corner in DC in Philly and was scared to talk to people. But with social media and everything, he found his way, and negativity sells. But I don't have to give you negativity. I don't have to lead my life that cameras, shoot, it's hard for athletes to live because you got a camera everywhere. Everywhere you go, they're here and there. But you have to understand that that's public knowledge. They can follow you, they can take a camera to you, they can put it in your face because you are part of the public now. Now, can they do that in the arena on the field? No, they can't. So allow yourself to be humble, understand that they have a job to do. But all you have to do, and I love Marshawn Lynch, love him to death. I remember when he played and they was asking him a question and he said, I'm only here so I don't get fined.
I just saw that video yesterday too.
Man, I love that so much. And I laugh about it. AI, you talk about practice, that was different. Yeah. Right? That was different. And I understand AI, knowing. But when Marshawn Lynch said, on him here, so I don't get fined. And then Joe Mazzulla, the coach for the Celtics, they asked him questions. He said, and they was like, well, what do you think about that call? Blah, 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 blah. Try to bait him to talk about the refs. And he leaned forward. He said, that was a legal screen. And they asked him 10 times. And that goes back to what my dad was telling me. The least you say, the least they can write. But I always made myself accessible to the media because am I media qualified? I think I learned over the years, being in New York, starting in Jersey, being in New York, I know the game. I'm not going to avoid you. You can ask me anything. When you try to hide behind stuff that you've done or you don't want people to know, then they're going to find it and they're going to see it. They're going to see your uncertainty. They're going to see your body language. You're going to sweat. You can ask me anything. I don't have to answer it, but you can ask me. And I'm going to give you the answer that I want to give you. And then I'm going to ask you, how's your family? How's your kids? How you doing? I used to take media people out to lunch and dinner because they're human. Some of them I like, some of them I don't. Even the ones I didn't like. Let's go. Let's go figure this out together. So then we do come back and have this conversation. Respect me as a man first and then as an athlete. But most people avoid questions because they're afraid of what might come from that. I'm not, and I don't think people should, but in this era, it's tough, man. They need media training to talk to the media because you've seen through the history, especially in the NFL, these guys aren't equipped to talk to the media because either they won't talk or they'll give short answers. How do you sit there and your responsibility is to talk to the media and either one, you don't show up or you get up because of a question they ask? Yeah. That's Bush League to me. I don't like it. Sit there as a man, either answer the question, say, you know what, right now, I'm not in the right frame of mind to answer that. But if we, table it for now and talk about it later, I'll give you a better answer because I'm still heated because we lost the game. And they'll respect you more for doing that instead of getting up and like giving them, basically you're giving them the finger. They have a job to do. They have a story to write. They have they have their paper, a deadline that they have to get out at a certain time. Man, give them what they want. It takes you 5 minutes.
Okay, and I got one more question before we go preview the Boise State Grand Canyon game. So you played for Bobby Dye, Jeff Van Gundy. You even played for Lenny Wilkins at the
Rest in peace.
At the Raptors. Who was your favorite? You know, the best
don't do
coach
that.
you
Don't do that.
You said I could ask you anything.
I'm going to answer, but that is very, very, very difficult.
That's like asking who your favorite child is.
Yeah. Well, Jeff is third, so we're gonna get him out the way.
He got to fight for you, man. Jeff will fight for you.
No, I saved Jeff when he fell off the pony and was grabbing Alonzo's leg. I saved his life. He had that Donald Trump comb over back then. Like, yeah. Love Lenny Wilkins. Lenny Wilkins is was a classy man, still is a classy man. Miss Coach, taught me a lot, more so as a man than basketball. He held us to a standard. And I remember when I got to Toronto, Lenny Wilkins said, I'm only going to be in the gym for an hour and a half. I'm leaving. So if y'all ain't coming to work, I'm leaving. You go get your work in. And I remember one day, we all went out, hanging out, partying, whatever, and we came in sluggish. Oak was at the gym. Practice was at 10. He was at 8 on the treadmill lifting. And I walk in, I'm like, man, I just need an ice bath. And like my head just, and Lenny came in and said, look, he said, okay, y'all ready? He said, we're not playing basketball. He said, we're going to run for an hour and a half. And we ran. And after an hour and a half, he put on his leisure suit. He had a sweatsuit, put it on, he walked out. And he came back the next day. He said and he looked at Vince Carter. He said, if you're going to be a leader, lead. If not, listen to Chris Child. And I respect that man so much. But Bobby Dye holds and will always hold a special place in my heart because he taught me how to be a man. You know, these kids say, I stand on 10 toes, or I stand on this. Bobby Dye stood on business. He cussed me out more than any person on this planet. I wanted to transfer so many times. My father said, if you quit, you will be a quitter for the rest of your life. I'm not going to save you. Bobby's not going to save you. Listen to that man. And I've ran those bleachers more than any player in the history of Boise State. I had my son, Jesse. Bobby Dye allowed my son, Jesse, to be at practice. I had Jesse at 19. My son was at practice. Saeed and I can't remember the trainer's name. My son would want to run on the court while I'm dribbling, and they would have to grab him and stop him from getting on the court. No coach in the history of the NCAA would do that. No coach. So Bobby would allow me to do that, but my son would get grabbed, and he would cuss me out, you stupid. And he would like, go. And I would run. And I hated him so much. His wife, Connie, used to cook and say, Chris, he loves you. I said, he don't love me. He hates me. She said, well, why you think you sitting here in my kitchen? That man, and I can't emphasize it and add on to Rod Jensen, Rich Ryder, George Barrios, and all the other coaches that came and trained us. that were there on that team played a special part, but I love that man so much, and he made me the player that I became afterwards because I didn't figure out what the heck he was talking about until I got to the NBA. I didn't because he was so hard on me. So yeah, Bobby Dye is my favorite coach. He's my favorite short white man. He's my favorite bad hair day guy that I've ever seen. Talk about his tennis game. He's a good tennis player, but he's a coach, father, friend, and I love him dearly.
Amen. All right, so let's preview the Grand Canyon game. Sam, you got the stats for us?
Oh, I might be able to pull a few. Right now, Boise State is still middle of the pack in the Mountain West Conference, 5-5. UNLV just above them at 5-4, and then Grand Canyon at 6-3, a game and a half ahead. So this game's going to go great for pulling us up. We'll still be a half a game behind Grand Canyon. Can't do anything about that, but we're still trending in the right direction. Right now, Boise State is a 1.5 point dog, and ESPN's giving them a 41.5% chance to win this one. You want to take a guess what the over under is without looking, Nick?
I already looked, man.
All right. What about you, Chris? You want to take a guess on the over under for this one?
And I'm just trying to figure out, does Grand Canyon have shooters? Well, how are they 6-3 in the conference?
Yeah, they pulled up and punched. They just lost to Nevada in overtime by 6. They beat San Diego
Did
State
they?
and Utah State. So, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, man. Tell me, I don't know.
140.5.
Really?
Yep. So expect to see some high scoring games. Leading scorer for Boise State, obviously Drew Fielder, shooting 55.3% from the field and 74.2 from free throw line, averaging 13.7 a game. Henley for Grand Canyon, we can keep him in check, then we got a great chance of winning this one. 17.2 points a game, shooting 45.3% from the field, and just shy of 80 from free throw. Fielder's also our leading rebounder with 5.6. And then I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name, but number 31 for GCU, 8.7. And then Andrews, if we're going to win this game, Dylan Andrews has got to go off. He's got to feed the ball. He's averaging 3.3 assists a game, our top assister. And Fielder's going to have a night in the paint. That's all there's to it.
How many assists are he averaging? 3.3?
3.3.
Yeah, you got to get that up. Let me ask
Yep.
you this, because I got 3% left on my thing because I didn't
All right.
charge my phone up. What do we give it? How many points we giving up defensively this year?
72.1.
What the Waka Flock is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were doing good, and then that since the San Diego State game, 3 overtime San Diego State game, it's like we went in a 4-game tailspin, and
Okay.
and we're starting to come back out of it and play Boise State basketball again. I've noticed that on defense. Our defense has stiffened up.
Okay.
But we're having 78.5 a game, giving up 72.1, and Grand Canyon 74, giving up 68.2. Field goal percentage almost identical. Boise State at 45, Grand Canyon at 44. Rebounds the same, 36.6 for Boise State, 37.1 for Grand Canyon. Assists 13.9 a game for Boise State, 12.4. Grand Canyon holds the edge on blocks, 3.7
Hey guys,
3.2.
I
Yep.
don't mean to cut you off. My phone is getting ready to die out.
All right, Chris.
I got 1%.
We appreciate you coming on tonight.
Blessings, man. Thank you guys. Love you guys. Hey, send me a text, whatever, and let's talk about doing something in February in Boise.
For sure,
right.
for sure. Thanks,
All right,
thanks
guys.
again for joining us. Love you, man.
Yeah. All right, love you guys, man. Be safe.
All right. Great guy. That was a treat.
Well, let's let's take a quick timeout, and then we'll come back and finish that preview. How's that sound?
All right. Sounds good.
Music and creativity come alive at Loretta's Music Studio. Loretta Dorn combines the joy of making music with the art of crafting beautiful wreaths and creations. Whether you're learning an instrument or adding handmade charm to your home, Loretta Studio is where inspiration meets tradition. For more information, go to the Serving Bronco Nation directory.
All right, and we're back, and just want to just share our appreciation for Chris. He's one of my favorite guys out there. He didn't have to do this tonight, but he spent about an hour and a half with us tonight, and can't tell you how much I appreciate him. And I'm going to try everything I can to get him back here in Boise. I think he could make a huge difference in the community. So
I think you need to email this episode on over to JD.
Yeah, we'll do that. Probably tag him in some posts or something like that.
So moving on with our preview, 5.2 stills to 6.8 stills for GCU. So ball control, turnover control is going to be huge in this one. If we can take care of the ball, I think we can win. Take care of the ball and keep Henley in check, and have Fielder own the paint, and we'll come out on top this time. Right now, something we have going for us is Grand Canyon's coming off a heartbreaking overtime loss to Nevada too. So we'll see if they go into their little tailspin. But after our overtime loss to UNLV, we've beat Colorado State, Wyoming, Air Force, and then San Diego State, and getting back into that. Yeah, we're giving up 70-something points a game. Now we're starting to see Boise State defense again and getting in those 50s. Granted, it's against Air Force and San Jose State, but still, the defense was better than what it was. So we got some good stuff coming. Hopefully we pull this out and we inch up the leaderboard a little. We won't jump Grand Canyon with this win. We'll be a half a game off. But that's a whole game closer than what we are now. That's all that matters. But this game is at 7:00 Mountain Time on Fox Sports 1 in Arizona.
So this is really good timing for the Broncos. They're in a trending up. In the last 4 games, they're right there at the top of the Mountain West. They've jumped from 91 up to 54 in Ken Palm, and then they're also their offense and defense efficiency has climbed big time in the BART. So very fortunate to where they're going. I am concerned about with the past couple defenses that they've been and offenses they've been playing. I hope that they can pivot, like Chris says, pivot and step their game up to the opponents they're playing, because Grand Canyon isn't a slouch. They already taught us at home how good they are. So, I do think that it is good that we're beating them, after a brutal loss with Nevada. And then over the next couple games, it's going to show us, how good the Broncos really are. They did take care of business the last 4 games, which they should have, but they also exceeded our expectations in the way that they beat the lower level teams in the Mountain West. So Bronco fans should feel really good about that. But tomorrow is going to be a really good test and a measuring stick to where they're actually at and where they're going to go to, because I would really like to see them to start, build off this momentum just start cruising, because it's going to be what it takes. If they have any slim chance at, some sort of bid in a 2-3 bid league, they're basically they have to win out and then go into the conference tournament, and if they don't win it, go maybe into the semifinals or the championship, and that way. But I do think that when they play Grand Canyon tomorrow, it's going to be really imperative, as you've seen in the past couple games with Drew Fielder and Andrew Meadow. When those two are being very productive, we've been lights out, and the assists are coming from Dylan Andrews and AG Neto. They're almost unstoppable. And then you have Javen there too, and Peanut. We have a really good shot at going on, keeping this run going, and it starts tomorrow at 7:00 in Phoenix.
Yep. I'm going to really enjoy watching that one. It's early enough too. My kids are going to get to watch. They've been bugging me to watch things. So, Josh, you mind if I call an audible, Nick?
Yeah.
I know we're in the wrong spot. Josh, I'm about to send you the link. I want you to come on and give some stats. Are you okay with that? Because Josh, I'm a great statistician. Josh dives even deeper than what I do, and I love the stats he gives. And trying to get over here and get this open. Josh, if you don't join, I understand. Josh is one of the panel members for Bourbon Beer and Basketball. We love having him on. He always has some great insight to the stat side of the sport. So there you are, Josh. I sent you the link. If you want to hop on, go for it. But yeah, this is a pivotal game. This game's more important than any of the last 3 games that we played. This is even more important than the San Diego State or the Utah State game where we were trying to recover. This game is make or break for our year. So, yeah, let's get rid of that one. All right. Sorry, I have so many screens open right now. I'm trying to get back to where I was. This one. All right.
Over the last 5 games, in the bar, it has San Diego State at the top, and then it's got Boise State and New Mexico, and then Grand Canyon right below them, and then Nevada. So those are your top 5. Really, we need Boise State to continue to push to get at least a 4 seed for the tournament. So knocking off a Grand Canyon at home and equalizing that home loss that they suffered against Grand Canyon, like you said, very important.
Yeah. P. Silly says our team got mad talent when in rhythm. Spencer going to come in swishing. That'll be nice.
Yeah, I love Spencer Aarons. I think he's going to be he's already kind of a superstar to me. I think he's he's got a high ceiling. He's going to hopefully we can keep him around the program, because I just see him just being a superstar. He's Team Canada, very humble. He's waiting his turn, and then when he gets on the court, he makes the best of it. He does all the right things. When he's not scoring, he's also getting rebounds and getting steals. Sometimes he's got the length to get those blocks when they're needed. So he's got a very high ceiling, and I think he's going to be a big star at Boise State in the coming years.
This is a home game for Grand Canyon too. They've gone 9-2 at home. They're currently on a 3-game home win streak as well. So going to be watch out for that. And there he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Josh Fife.
I mean, legend might be a little deep there, but
You got
Grand
mad
Canyon,
stats.
Grand Canyon shooting 43.6% from the field this season, 1.4 percentage points lower than Boise State. So it's going to be you expressed concern about the defense versus offense. So I'll let you jump into that and give us your reasoning.
yeah, they're tenacious, and they look like the team that we all worry about in the tournament when we play them in a play-in game, and we go, can our offense handle a defense like this? And you guys know, I mean, Boise State fans, we can score 100. Granted, it was double OT against San Diego State, but they're the standard when it comes to defense, right? Like that's how they made their Final Four run that year. Grand Canyon has that whatever it is, that gusto on defense, and so man, if we can get this offense that's been clicking the last 4 games, that's the battle to me tomorrow is Boise State's offense and Grand Canyon's defense. What's going to be the first to drop? As long as BSU doesn't start down 12 or 14-0, I think we'll be okay.
And not just that, but don't jump out to that 12 like they did against San Jose State. Jumped out 8 points, and then San Jose State came back and punched back. And as long as it's not a game of runs like that,
Totally.
because Grand Canyon's a team that can sustain those runs. And Boise State's a team that in the past has put up terrible shots the deeper those runs go, which extend those runs.
Yeah. We can't get into this 8-0, 7-0, 9-0, 6-0 type of game. It's golly, watching the first half of this team every game is just, I'm on pins and needles like, how's this going to go? How's this going to go? But I feel like Grand Canyon's coming off of a similar loss like we had to San Diego State. You foul with 1.6 on a three-pointer, just the crushing nature of that gives me a little bit of hope. I feel bad for Grand Canyon on that loss, but man, we've been there as Bronco fans. You know this, Nick.
Yeah.
Those scoring droughts really crushed my soul, and if they're crushing my soul, I'm sure what it does to the players. But yeah, same thing. Like, yeah, you go into San Jose State, we're only up 2 at half, and then they come out, they're a totally different team. They can't do that against Grand Canyon, that's for sure.
Yeah, I feel like they've shocked a lot of people, and I don't know that I'm shocked as much as I am just kind of living in this. Are they the next Mountain West team? Do they? I mean, I think we all thought UNLV was next in line, and Grand Canyon's looking real good right now.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do with all these other teams. They have a history with each other in the Mountain West. Grand Canyon's brand new this year. I don't think anyone's played them with any kind of regularity over the last decade. So they're a new team. No one's really, how do we play them? What's their strategy? How well do we match up against them? How well do we match up against their offensive and defensive schemes? So it's all brand new to them. It's like playing a non-conference game every year, except they're in your conference. So I'm sure that has a lot to do with it too.
Yeah.
Hey, I gotta say this, Josh. I love your screen, your green screen back there.
Listen, we're a homeschool family, so this is our kids' wall right here. All these
Right
dots. It's on point. It's fire. Let's go.
Yeah,
That's what happens when you get put on the spot.
Yeah.
I literally just climbed out of my kids. We're getting ready to do our nightly reading. So
Yeah.
Percy Jackson, here we come. Your
right.
Your guys' interview with Chris Childs, man, he's such a legit dude. Just the history. I really hope the Boise thing happens. Get some fire going with somebody like that coming back. That would be really cool.
Yeah. Well, Josh, thanks for joining us. I'll let you get back to your kids, but before you go, give us what you're looking for in the GCU game tomorrow.
I want Andrew to keep attacking. I want JB some feeds in the high post. I'm just curious how Grand Canyon's going to attack our offense with their defense. And dude, if RJ can hit another 3 or 2, I feel like that spreads the floor a little bit because they feel like they got to guard him a little more. So those 3 guys, if they can go going, and Dylan Andrews, listen, game manager, I want some more of him managing the game like we all know he knows how to. I'm going to say BSU 71, GCU 66.
I like it.
Here we go.
All right,
Appreciate you
Josh,
guys.
Thanks for joining us last minute, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Josh.
It's funny, last year, last week in the show, I called out RJ Keene for not having any stats on the stat sheet, and then the next game he busted a 3-pointer or 2. Saying that maybe I should call him out every week, and then we get some production.
You spoke it into existence, my friend. You
Yeah.
spoke it into existence.
Oh, good times. Well, Nick, what are you looking for the GCU game?
Yeah, I'm looking for, kind of similar to Josh. I'm looking for Andrew Meadow to take that leadership role as he has, and just take it off the wing and go in there when he needs to, and then continue to splash those 3-point attempts. But also, we also need Drew Fielder to continue to do what he's doing and be a presence in the paint, and getting those rebounds, getting those easy buckets in there. And I think, with AG and DA dishing it, we need that, as Chris said, 3.3 is not going to cut it, man.
Yeah.
We need that facilitation going. We need a fluid. We need a lot of cohesion here, a lot of good gelling. And then, if RJ can be a wild card, that's only a bonus, for the team. Yeah. So, but I think it's really contingent on the 2 pillars that I like are Andrew Meadow and Drew Fielder.
Yeah. Our keys to victory is going to be keeping Jaden Henley, who's averaging 17.2 points a game, and Micaiah Williams averaging 15.4 points a game. Keeping those 2 in check will, and of course, what Chris said earlier, and you're not going to stop a scorer, but if we can pray that they have that 7 and 30, 7 for 30 field from the field night, then they got a chance. But Jaden Henley and Micaiah or Mackay, and Mr. Williams, keep those 2 in check, and things will go good. The ladies have a game coming up as well tomorrow night. They play. No, it's the men's tomorrow night. I had my games mixed up. Ladies are Saturday. Yeah, they play San Jose State Saturday. What are you looking for in that one, Nick?
Yeah, so the ladies are playing. The women are playing San Jose State at home. San Jose State is towards the bottom of the conference. So, I'm looking for the women to continue this role that they're on. They're 11-1 at home. I think they're gelling like we thought they were going to. We've spoke to Danny Bays, we spoke to Tatum Thompson, and they and us fans who've been covering and watching them for 4 or 5 years, I really think that this is their time right now. They have a 94.9% chance to win from ESPN. They are on such a roll where even the younger players are able to step up and get some minutes and get some points. You had Kira Thompson come in last week, and she scored 8 points. They're coming off. They basically kind of had a bye, so they didn't have a midweek game. So they're nice and fresh. They're taking on, I believe, San Jose State is. They're 1-9 in conference, 3-18. So they are at the bottom. So this will be a nice game for them. Just to, they got to take it seriously, right? But if they, it'll be a nice tune-up. To continue this run they're on. They're on a 5-game win streak, I believe. and this would be another opportunity to get those younger players in, like Kenna Garza, Kira Thompson, Maldonado, you name it. So, because the more experience they get, and as they get to the conference tournament, it's really hard to win 3 games in a row for the men and the women. So if they can get to the tournament, fresh legs, lots of experience for the underclassmen, I think they're in prime shape to do it. Right now, they're sitting at 7-3, and they're in 4th place in the league. So I like their chances, man. I'm really impressed with what they're doing right now.
Yep. So we're gonna move through the rest of this a little bit quick. I know we're coming up on a hard stop. So the track and field team, they brought home 4 championships from the Nebraska meet this last week. And they go to UW, the UW Invitational up in Seattle tomorrow. Busy week in sports for Boise State. Women's tennis has a doubleheader tomorrow as well at the Boaz Indoor Tennis Facility, center, I should say, playing BYU at 11 a.m. Mountain Time and Montana State at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. I believe there's some hat giveaways for the first. I can't remember how many now, but there's some giveaways for that. Of course, the men's basketball's at Grand Canyon, and then women's gymnastics at Extra Mile. Again, busy weekend in sports for Boise, so something for everybody to do. It is Princess Night, so bring out your little princesses, and they do get to an instant rematch against Air Force, and then Utah State and Sacramento State will also be there. This is the Bronco Bold meet, and again, it's Princess Night, so take your little girls out and let them have some fun with the gymnastics. Saturday, track and field is again in Washington, and then of course women's basketball at Extra Mile Saturday. Sunday is in the next month, so I'm not going to go to Sunday. Esports this week, they lost to Michigan State in Rocket League 2-3. Heartbreaker, well fought, well defended, great match if you were able to watch that one. They did not play Tuesday, they played Wednesday. They had played Valorant on Wednesday and won 2-0. It's pretty dominant. Got to watch a little bit of that one before the Bourbon Beer and Basketball show. They played Michigan State in Super Smash Brothers tonight. I do not know how that one's going. So it's I think it's over, but the nothing's been posted yet. So that's your quick weekend review and weekend preview, I guess you could say. I know, Nick, we got about 10 minutes before you can't use AI to cut this film up, so I'm trying to rush through for you, buddy, because I know going through 2 hours of film is not fun to do. So, real quick, you want to give us a shout out with Blue Elevation and Serving Bronco Nation? What you got going on over there?
Yeah, we're very blessed to have a nonprofit in good standing. It's available for any of the fans. Blue Elevation's elevating Bronco sports through fans like us, through people like Chris Childs, and that's what it's all about, man. It's about uplifting the community. We do a lot for the community. We use the nonprofit to give to the BAA, to give to all sorts of other places of need for the university. We love Boise State, and we love all different types of athletes. We give to scholarships like the like the Beyond Blue that Carl Kiefer has going, that goes to the for walk-ons and stuff like that. So we have our hands in many different places. Our board are members of all, many of these other clubs that are out there. So we're on the same team. But what I'm proud of and what, just like what Chris was talking about, we are we've embraced the community, and I believe that we have something that where we can be the conduit between the community, the fans, and the team, and build up a presence in basketball games, football games, and softball games, all of these things. And I'm just blessed to be part of Bronco Nation updates and have our nonprofit, have our Serving Bronco Nation directory for small companies and entrepreneurs who want to network with us, gain awesome, long-lasting relationships where we can embrace the community and current and former athletes, and bless the community, bless each other, and ultimately elevate the school. That's our vision. That's the biggest vision. Many people don't see it, but that's what it is. And we're always about 10 steps ahead. And it, sometimes people get rubbed the wrong way, but we're like Chris Childs out in the court. If we see something hurting our university, we're not afraid to drop gloves and throw some hands. But in this case, we just use our constitutional protected First Amendment, and sometimes people don't like that, and that's fine. But we're meek, which means we have controlled strength, and that's why we like it. So many people don't see our vision, but in a couple of years, they adopt what we've already been doing, and they repackage it as their own, and that's fine because we're on the same team. We all want Boise State to prosper, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah. So next week we have on Bronco Nation Live. I'm trying to find it, and I'm not looking where I need to look. Hold on.
TikTok.
Let's see. Yeah. So on Bourbon Beer and Basketball next week, we have a good show lined up again. We are going to do a draft. You want to be a part of that? I'm not going to give too much details. Just come and find out for yourself what that is. We need 288 more subs on YouTube to get full monetization. Why does that matter? We get full monetization, and you just became a driving force in funding NIL for Boise State without having to put any money into it. All you got to do, get us to 1,000 followers or subscribers on TikTok or YouTube, and watch, not you individually, but you as a community, watch 4,000 hours a month, and we get monetized, and you just help the NIL fund without having to put any money into it. This sounds like a pretty good deal, doesn't it, Nick?
Free is free. Free is me.
Yeah. So we do have on the show next week, we have Cade Hall from Boise State Esports. He is going to be on the show. He's part of the Rocket League team. So if you're into that kind of thing, you're into Rocket League, or just want to jump on and support Boise State and help with that NIL fund, Cade Hall, Woozy. If you watch the Rocket Leagues and say, well, there's no Cade Hall, well, he goes by Woozy. So great guy, great scorer, and he's going to be on the show with us next week, Nick.
Sweet. Love the eSport guys, man.
Yep. And that will do it for all I got, Nick.
All right. Well, again, thanks, Bronco Nation, for watching tonight. So blessed that Chris could spend some time with us. Always like chopping it up with him, and I'm going to do my best to get him back in Boise and be a part of the community. If you're watching this on the replay, do all the things, like, share, have your family come and become subscribers. It's free. If you're a Bronco sports fan, you're a VIP to us. All of our content is free, and that won't change. But until next time, for Sam and myself, thank you very much for watching. Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.
Blue Elevation Elevating Bronco Sports through fans like you. Every donation fuels Boise State athletics, scholarships, and community projects, helping student athletes reach championship levels. With over $13,000 raised, Blue Elevation is Boise State's #1 crowdsourcing outlet. Join the movement, elevate the Broncos, and make every gift count. Visit blueelevation.org to elevate Boise State to the next level.